Well, it's hard to believe. Another season of NFL is over, and my goodness, what a wild finish it was with Ravens and Steelers. But now, the day has finally arrived. It's time for my playoff predictions of the 2025 NFL playoffs. Who of the remaining 14 teams will go on to the Super Bowl? But of course, before we do that, I gotta get to my results. As Week 18, I went 10-6, which is a slight improvement from Week 17. And in 2025, I went 180, 91, and 1, which is a massive, massive regression from 2024 when I went 191 and 81, which I think was still my best season for predictions, 70.2%. But it is a lot better in 2023 when I went 170, 102 for 629% correct. Maybe I need to write down all my results for all the years and such, see how I've done. Alright, but of course, with that out of the way, now we get to my playoff predictions after, of course, I talk about the teams. So, of course, in the AFC start off with, the number 1 seed Broncos. They made the playoffs last year, and what a year they had, with an elite defense, with their offense being sometimes inconsistent, but they got home field advantage for the first time since 2015 after they beat the Chargers in a defensive struggle, and they got 14 wins for the first time since 1998. What an amazing year it was for them. Then how about that? The second seed is the Patriots. I knew they were going to do better this year, but I did not expect them to go 14-3, win the AFC East for the first time since 2019, and they got 14 wins for the first time since 2016. Just insane. What a year they had with, again, really good defense and Drake May being amazing. Now, after Stafford's collapse the last few weeks, and I didn't check any of their Week 18 stats because I was busy with work and such, so maybe I'm a little bit blind going into this final week and such, but Patriots definitely improved. I mean, really impressed me the last few weeks. And how about that? The Jaguars, the third seed. I didn't think they were going to do anything this year. Especially when they somehow got started to 5-4. I thought they were going to start collapsing. The Chiefs were going to take over. But nope. They went on to win every single one of their remaining games. Make the playoffs. Win the AFC South for the first time since 2022. And they won 13 games for the first time since 1999. They almost had a chance to get the number 1 seed if the Patriots and Broncos lost. What a season it was. And the way they played the last few weeks of the year, oh man, their defense was really good, and their offense, especially Trevor Lawrence, was insane. Unbelievable. They are really scary going into the playoffs. And then we just saw the Steelers beat the Ravens to make the playoffs for the third year in a row, and they won the AFC North for the first time since 2020, as they are kind of a weak team and inconsistent such. What do you expect from the Steelers? And then our wildcard team's the Texans. I didn't think they were going to do anything this year other than, of course, win the AFC South because that division was so bad. And they start off really bad, too, despite their elite defense, probably one of the best defenses in the 17-game era. But they went on to win every one of their remaining games to finish 12-5, tying their best record, tying their best win record-wise, not their actual best record, second best all time, going 12-5, but a wild card team, as their defense is elite, and honestly, their offense played a little bit better the last few weeks. They honestly are a scary team in the playoffs, especially with that elite defense. And my oh my, the Bills. How about that? A year where they had no Ravens, no Chiefs to worry about, and they don't even win the division. They're a freaking wild card team. How do you do that? How do you let the Patriots get away with it? If you just beat the Patriots in Week 5, they would have had the division locked up. But nope, they are a wild card team for the first time since 2019. Still a very good team, but did not play. They were just mistake riddled throughout the year and such. And then our last team in the AFC, the Chargers, who made the playoffs once again for a second year in a row. As, oh boy, that team is just so inconsistent, especially the offense. Herbert has just been all over the place, and that's why I don't have a lot of faith in the Chargers and such. Alright, then we get to the NFC. How about this? The number 1 seed is the Seahawks. Who would have thought that? I thought the Seahawks were going to regress and have a losing season this year because I thought Sam Darnold was not going to play good. And to be fair, he did not play anywhere close to as good last year than this year, but it was just enough, and their defense played really, really well. And the Seahawks have made the playoffs. They won the NFC West for the first time since 2020, and they got a home field advantage for the first time since 2014. Unbelievable, as their defense is elite, and their offense honestly is up there one of the best too, except their running game. Seahawks, I'm still very concerned about them. Feel very suspect about them, especially Sam Darnold, but they somehow managed to pull through, and they are a threat to make the Super Bowl. And then the wild card, I mean the division, other division winners, the Bears. I had a feeling they were going to do good, maybe be a playoff contender this year, but I didn't expect this. Freaking going 11-6. Hell, they could have gone 13-4 if they didn't choke the final 2 games. Maybe to contend for #1 seed. But they made the playoffs for the first time since 2020, and they won the NFC North for the first time since 2018. Unbelievable. As the offense was the main focus of the team pretty much this year. Caleb Williams probably was one that had the best season in Bears quarterback history. Although their defense is kind of suspect, though. It's their offense that mostly did the work. Meanwhile, the defending champion Eagles, they struggled all year. They did not look that really good. But the last few weeks, they've won the final... No, actually, no, they lost their last game against the Commanders. But they had that 3-game winning streak, and they looked really good. Their defense looks really good. So maybe they could be a threat to try and repeat for the first time since the 2022-2023 Chiefs. Definitely a lot better earlier now than they were a few weeks ago. And then how about this? The Panthers became, what, the 5th team to win the division with a losing record? The 3rd time in the NFC South? And they're the 2nd time they did it, because remember they did in 2014. Wow. What a season it was. They were very inconsistent though. Like one week they destroyed or put up an impressive offensive performance, and then the next week they lay a complete egg. I don't think they're really that good. I think it's more they just got lucky and all that. Definitely the weakest team in the NFC. I mean, not the entire playoffs. But hey, they made the playoffs for the first time since 2017, and they won the NFC South for the first time since 2015. And that was, I think that is the 2nd longest playoff drought now gotten rid of. So that's pretty good for them. Then the wildcard team, the Rams. The Rams, for most of the year, was my favorite team to be a Super Bowl contender. Their offense was elite, their defense was elite. Unfortunately, they fell off a lot down the final stretch when they need those wins. Man, that loss against the Seahawks when it looked like they had them beaten. The loss against the Panthers, which would have kept them out of the playoffs. And the loss against the Falcons last Monday night. Those were crucial losses that could have gotten them the #1 seed, and they blew it. So, stat-wise, I still think the Rams are elite, but that's a big concern, especially since they got to play the Panthers coming up. Then the 49ers, another team that should have gotten the #1 seed. All they had to do was just beat the Seahawks the final week, and they couldn't do it. After missing the playoffs last year, they're back. Although I'm still a little suspect on them too, especially Brock Purdy, because most of the year he was struggling then with the injuries. But those last 2 games, other than the Seahawks game, he was playing very good. So maybe they could be a threat too, potentially, since they are playing in the Super Bowl, although they're not technically hosted. And then the Packers to wrap it up. Oh man. The Packers, for most of the year, looked elite. They had an elite defense. Micah Parsons, that trade helped out, and they looked really good. But then Micah Parsons got injured. Then Jordan Love got injured. And then, of course, they had tough schedule to wrap up the stretch, and they ended up losing all the remaining games. They were 9-3-1 to finish 9-7-1 and barely making it in the playoffs. Yikes. They were like limping into the playoffs, and they were such a really great team just a few weeks ago. It looked like they had a great shot to get the #1 seed. Yikes, yikes, and yikes. But hey, with that is, of course, my how the teams got into the playoffs, but now my actual playoff predictions. Let's get to them. Alright, so now we get to my playoff predictions. As I think I remember the schedule, because they did the wild card round. Of course, we don't know the division schedule until later on. I'll just make my own schedule as I get to it. Alright, so we get to the wild card games. The first one is going to be the Rams at the Panthers. It's a rematch from a few weeks ago when the Panthers beat them 31-28. A very important game, which cost the Rams the division, a chance to win the division, and of course help get the Panthers into the playoffs. That was a crucial game. I knew it was going to be big back then, and it ended up being so. But anyways, this is the first time they're playing each other in the playoffs since the 2003 divisional round game when the Panthers beat them at double overtime to go to their first Super Bowl appearance. Now, of course, this is a rematch from a few weeks ago. So, it's going to be a very close competitive game, even though the Rams are a vastly superior team. And we've seen throughout the historical years, when a team with a losing record wins the division, they still put up a very strong fight and are 2-2 actually when they played. So, don't underestimate the Panthers, Rams. They beat you early in the year. The history's on their side and all that. I'm going to still pick the Rams for this one. But if the Panthers win, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised, and I'll be very sad too because I'm very high on the Rams. But if they blow it like they did early in the year, I can't Won't be surprised. Like I said, whoever wins, I won't be surprised whatsoever. All right, then the next game is going to be a arch rivalry game. And for the first time in a long time, actually has relevance, as the Packers are at the Bears. As this is only the third time they play each other in the playoffs, the last time since the 2010 NFC Championship. Oh boy, I remember that game. So of course the Packers, they both play each other this year. They split the matchups, although both games were right down to the wire. Remember, the Bears almost tied up in their first game, and the second time when Jordan Love had his injury, the Packers looked like they were going to run away with it, like that 16-6 lead, but then the Bears came back, tied up, and forced overtime and got the win. Now, Jordan Love, I think, is going to play in this game, because he didn't play the last 2 weeks with the injury and rest and such. Now, you can't underestimate the Packers Bears. They beat you once, and they almost beat you a second time, if we're being fair. And if Love actually played, I think they would have beaten you. So, yeah. Take this game very seriously. This could be a trap game for you. Don't take the Packers limping in as nothing. I'm going to say right there. I'm still going to pick the Bears, but if the Packers win, I won't be surprised. And with that, the Packers will host the divisional round game. All right. Then we get to next Sunday games, which will first start off with a big one, the Bills at the Jaguars, as this is the first time they're playing each other in the playoffs since the wild card game in 2017. Oh man, 8 years ago when those teams made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. And the Jaguars have won all the games too. Now this is going to be huge. Oh boy, especially since the Bills actually have a chance to still host one more game in Ralph Wilson Stadium if they and the Chargers make the AFC Championship. So a lot on the line for that one. The Jaguars, of course. In the AFC, I think they're my favorite team right now. Although stat-wise, they don't look that good, but the way they've been playing, they've been so impressive, especially Trevor Lawrence. But they're also going to be playing the Bills, who are also a very good team. Yes, they struggle in our wildcard team, but they should not be underestimated. I can see us going either way once again. But I'm going to pick the Jaguars for this one. But if the Bills win, I won't be surprised to knock out Ralph Wilson Stadium once and for all. All right, then after that, the last NFC wildcard game, as it's the 49ers at the Eagles. This is, of course, the first time they played since the 2022 NFC Championship. The Eagles trying to make the repeat. Meanwhile, they've got to play a 49ers team who are red hot by and large, other than that last game against the Seahawks. Oh boy, this is a tough one. The Eagles, of course, rested their stars mostly for the upcoming Commanders game they did. And the 49ers choked it big time against the Seahawks. They could have had the number 1 seed and all that, and that would have made a big difference. Oh boy, this is actually going to be a tough one. Oh boy, this is actually a tough one because each team has their own strengths and weaknesses and all that. Oh boy. I think I'll still pick the Eagles for this one. So they win, the Rams will go to the Seahawks, and the Eagles will go to the Bears. Alright, so then the next game, the Sunday night game, will be the Chargers at the Patriots. This is the first time they play each other in the playoffs since the 2018 divisional round game. And the Chargers, of course, kind of limping into the playoffs, losing their last 2 games, and not being very, very impressive and all that. Meanwhile, the Patriots, all of a sudden, now they've started to like up there with the Jaguars as the best team in the AFC. They looked so dominant and all that. Oh boy, that's going to be insane. And I'm going to pick the Patriots for that one. And of course, they will host the Jaguars. And then the final wildcard game, the Texans at the Steelers. This is the first time they're playing each other in the playoffs, as the Steelers got lucky in that last second game. Missed field goal against the Ravens to get back into the playoffs. The Texans, meanwhile, they have the league's best defense. Probably the best defense in the 17-game schedule. That defense is insane. They've been insane all year round, and they're finally getting paid off for the playoff spot. This is going to be big, tough for the Steelers, and I don't think they're going to get it, and I'm going to pick the Texans for this one. All right, so then we get to the divisional round game. And I think they're going. I'll probably make my own schedule. I'll start off with the AFC. The Texans at the Broncos. This will be, I believe, the first time they've played each other in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the first time they play in the playoffs. This is going to be a defensive struggle. Oh boy! Oh, it'll be so nice to see as a defensive lover between two of the best defenses in the league. It's really going to come down to who do you trust more. And by and large, I don't trust Bo Nix or CJ Stroud, to be honest with you. Although Nix has had some great games too once in a while, but both quarterbacks have been struggling this year. But it's also not that. The defenses too, you got watch out for. And I really am sold on the Texans defense. But will CJ Stroud cost them the game? Oh, this is a tough one to pick. Oh, jeez. All that momentum with the Texans had going up against an elite defense. I think I still trust Bo Nix more than CJ Stroud, so I'm going to pick the Broncos for this one. But if the Texans win, I won't be surprised, as the Broncos make the conference championship for the first time since 2015. Man, that was a tough one, because I really thought I would pick the Texans to make it, but playing the Broncos, thinking about it a little more, decided for me. Then the Jaguars at the Patriots. This will be the first time they play each other since the 2017 AFC Championship game. And again, this is another tough one. The Jaguars are red hot. They're my favorite team in the AFC right now, but they're going up against a very strong Patriots team who have been dominating opponents the last few weeks. Sure, it was the Jets and Dolphins, but it still means something. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one. I think this could be high scoring, unlike the Texans-Broncos game. Oh boy. I'm not Stroud. Lawrence is on a roll, but I think I still trust Drake May more, so I think I'll edge out and pick the Patriots. But if the Jaguars win, I won't be surprised. Man, I've been picking the Jaguars to make the Super Bowl the last few weeks. Not picking them, oh, that kind of hurts for me. Alright, then it's the NFC side. The Rams at the Seahawks. And of course, they've played each other both times as a division team. They split it. This is the first time they're playing each other in the playoffs since, I believe, the 2004 wildcard round. This is a tough... It's going to be a close one. Remember, both games were close. Seahawks almost beat them earlier in the year if it wasn't for those 4 interceptions and a missed field goal, I think it was. Meanwhile, the Rams had them beat big time, and then they choked in the end. This is a tough one. I think the Rams are the better team. But, I mean, but they're having tough fights against the Seahawks. And the Seahawks seem to be competitive against the Rams, even when they struggle with Sam Darnold. Oh boy, this is tough. Oh man. I think I'll pick the Seahawks just barely. Although I don't feel comfortable with that. Patriots make the AFC Championship for the first time since 2018. Seahawks make the NFC Championship for the first time since 2014. Alright, then it'll be the Eagles at the Bears, as this will be the first time they played each other since that 2018 wildcard game, the double doink. And again, they played each other early in the year on Black Friday. The Bears win to Philly and whooped the Eagles' ass. Which, I don't know, it was in the middle in between their 3-game slide and such. But I think the Eagles are better off right now, so this will be a close game. This is a tough one. Oh boy. I think the Eagles are the better team. The Bears destroyed them several weeks ago, but would the Eagles get revenge on them? Oh boy. Oh man. Gotta think about this one. But yeah, I think I trust the Eagles more, so I'm going to pick the Eagles to actually get the upset, get revenge, and make the conference championship for the second year in a row. So the conference championships, Eagles at Seahawks and Patriots at Broncos. The AFC is the home team this year. So Patriots at Broncos. So of course, this will be the first time they play each other in the playoffs since the 2015 AFC Championship. Hard to believe 10 years ago, with no Brady or Peyton now. Oh boy. 2024 rookies going at. This will be very interesting. One of the league's best defense against one of the league's best offenses. Patriots defense is pretty good, and I do trust Drake May more than I trust Bo Nix right now. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. But I think I might pick maybe an upset, and I'll pick the Patriots for that one. I'll pick Drake May to get it, and the Patriots make this Super Bowl for the first time since 2018. Alright, then the NFC Championship. The Eagles at the Seahawks. This will be the first time they play each other in the playoffs since, I believe, the 2019 wildcard round. And again, this is going to be a tough one. Oh boy. But the Eagles, I definitely trust the Seahawks defense more. It's just I don't trust Sam Darnold all the time. Yes, he's had his games, but he's also had his struggles. But then again, the Seahawks were winning games despite his struggles most of the time. And when the Eagles struggle, oh boy, it really cost them. So I think I'll still actually pick the Seahawks for this one. And the Super Bowl. I mean, the Seahawks will make the Super Bowl for the first time since 2014. So the Super Bowl, my prediction, the Patriots and the Seahawks in their rematch from 11 years ago in Santa Clara. So between the Patriots offense and both teams' offense defense, who would win? Patriots offense versus Seahawks defense. I could see it going either way. Seahawks offense gets the Patriots defense, I can also see going either way. Like, I see them both being kind of balanced and all that. It could go either way. So, who do I pick in this one? I think it might come down once again to the quarterback play, and I'm sorry, I trust Drake May more than I trust Sam Darnold. So with that, I'll pick the Patriots to win the Super Bowl for the first time since 2018. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Super Bowl. The Patriots over the Seahawks. And of course, if my prediction is wrong, if the Super Bowl matchup's wrong, or if a massive injury or something happens I don't trust this matchup anymore, or the outcome, I'll have an update video and such afterwards. And of course, now this is my 11th year predicting the Super Bowl. 2015, I had all the matchups correct except the Super Bowl where I picked the Panthers to beat the Broncos, ended up the Broncos getting it. 2016, I predicted Patriots-Cowboys, that ended up being wrong. 2017, I predicted Patriots-Vikings, that ended up being wrong. 2018, I picked Ravens-Saints, that ended up being wrong. 2019, Ravens-49ers, ended up being wrong. 2020, probably the Bills and Packers, and that was wrong. 2021, I think by and large the Bills and Packers again, and that ended up being wrong. 2022, the Bills and 49ers, that ended up being wrong. 2023, Bills and 49ers again, and that ended up being wrong. And then last year was Eagles and Bills, that ended up being wrong, although I got the actual Eagles pick correct. So we'll see. My prediction, Patriots-Seahawks. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up here, and see you all, of course, after the conference championship when a different Super Bowl matchup happens or injury or whatever. And of course, all my videos after the Super Bowl. So see you guys in a few weeks.